Hi, I'm James and I'm a cancer specialist trainer here at Active Against Cancer. Today I'm going to run through with you a Get Active session which is suitable for most people. So choose a level that's appropriate for you. Exercises can be done seated or standing, and I'll list out the modifications that are available. You're going to need a resistance band and you're going to need a chair, a clear space around you because you're going to be stepping out to the side, front and back, and appropriate footwear, so nothing that's going to slip on the ground or come loose from your feet. So either no shoes or some suitable closely fitted trainers. Hi guys, so we're going to start our Get Active session. So we're going to start with a gentle warm up, mobilize all of our joints, slightly increase our heart rate. Then we're going to go into a main session of exercises and then finish with a cool down to stretch out our muscles and lower our heart rate. So to start with, we're going to start by mobilizing. We're going to work top to bottom. Again, all these can be done seated or standing. I'll demonstrate them standing just so you can see, but again, it's easy to replicate them seated, okay? Make sure we've got something near us, so a chair just as an anchor point if we need to hold on at any point to help us balance through these, okay? So to start with, we're going to start rolling through our shoulders, just drawing some circles, raising up towards our ears, lowering down forwards. Nice and smooth movements. So work within a range that's comfortable for you and slowly build them as you go. And now we're going to change direction, so start rolling those shoulders back. Excellent, and we can release these shoulders down now. Make sure we go a little bit wider with our stance so we've got a good solid base. And we're just going to rock our arms side to side like we're turning our shoulders, but keeping our hips nice and still. If you've been advised not to do any twisting action, instead just rock your arms side to side without the twist, okay? If you're okay with a twist, go with it. But keep your head forward, your eyes forward the whole time. If you start to follow your arms with your eyes, you're gonna get a bit dizzy. It's not what we're aiming for. We're just trying to mobilize and warm up our back. Excellent. And relax there now. Release those arms. We're going to go a bit bigger with these circles now. So we're going to raise our arms up to the front to shoulder height, out to the side, and then lower down. Same again. Draw these circles as big as is comfortable for you. If that range is too much, just start a bit smaller and slowly build. We're all just trying to mobilize these shoulders to get them ready for the exercises to come. This time we're going to change. We're going to go raise up to the side, bring them into the center and lower down. So it's the same movement, just in reverse. And again, go whatever's comfortable. And as you can tell, all of these could be done seated. It's all of our upper body that's moving just at the moment. Excellent. Release those arms back into those rockers. So we're just rocking those arms side to side. The turns in our shoulders, but we're trying to keep our hips nice and still. We're not trying to force it or go too far. It's just a gentle movement just to warm up this back. Excellent. And we can relax there now. A little shake out of those hands. So we get a bit more quicker movement going into our hands now. So we're going to make a fist down by our hips. Then we're going to flash our hands out so our fingers are nice and wide. Make a fist, squeeze and pull back down to our hips. So flash those hands out, squeeze and pull back. And again. Excellent. Final one. Really good. And relax. Now down to our hips. We've done our arms. We need to get down to these hips. So we can use an anchor point for this, not a balance exercise, just trying to open out our hip joints. So we're going to stand nice and tall, raise up one leg, so raising the knee up, swing that out to the side like a gate, lower, tap it down, and then repeat. So we're just reversing that movement to swing it back to center and then change legs. Make sure we do each leg. So we want to alternate between. And again, always go with whatever's comfortable for you, for your range. We're just trying to build this range slowly with some gentle movements to start with. Excellent. Relax those down. Get our feet hip width apart now. We're going to raise up onto one toe and then drop that heel, rocking through to the other. So we've got nice soft knees as we're just shifting our weight between our ankles to loosen off our ankle joints and all the joints in our feet and our toes. So your toes should feel nice and wide in your shoes if you've got them on, or likewise nice and wide and fully in contact with the ground if you haven't got any on. Excellent. So we've hit top to bottom. Now we're going to start to get a bit more movement and start to pick those feet, getting a little bit of a march going on the spot. So you can bring those arms up into a 90 degrees, so we're driving the elbows back as we're hitting this march. So from here, we'll get these arms going. So we're going to throw some punches out to the front. So obviously, make sure there's nothing in front of you that you're going to reach out with these punches. So just straight out to the front, shoulder height. Doesn't matter how quick your arms are going, if they're going the same pace, quicker, slower than your march, just trying to get these moving. And now we're going to change. We're going to go straight up now. Our sky punches. Keeping those feet going. Test your coordination a little bit when your arms and legs are doing different things at different paces. Excellent. Bring those arms back down. So we've had our arms going in different directions. We're going to get our feet and legs going in a few different directions now. Starting with our knees. Just start raising our knees up, knee to hand. You can dictate how high you lift these up, because obviously you choose how high your hands are. So be kind to yourself. We're just trying to raise these knees a little bit higher than normal. We're going to have a little bit of a pause when we're on that standing leg for a little bit. Excellent. We're going to change once more. So we've gone to the front. Now we're going to go to the back. A little bit wider with our stance. Start flicking those heels like we're rocking our weight side to side. It's not important how high we raise that heel. What we're just trying to do is shift our weight side to side. But make sure we're always in balance. And remember, we've got our anchor point next to us. So you can either be stood behind a chair or keeping it just to the side. So if you need it, you've got it to grab onto. Excellent. And relax. Just pedal through those legs. Shake those arms out. Final one. Test our coordination and proprioception of where our feet are in relation to our body. So we're going to tap out to the front with one leg. Bring it back to center. Then with the other. Alternating legs. A little tap out and back in. Go your own pace with these. The forward ones, nice and easy. Body likes going forwards. So we're going to start to test it. We'll start going into different directions. So we're going to change that now. We'll go out to the side. Alternating the legs. Little tap out. These want to be delicate little taps. So all the weight's on that standing leg. It's just a light tap with the toe. Excellent. And now we're going to change it again to the back. The whole time. Weights on that standing leg. We're not leaning forwards. Our balance is nicely centered. Excellent. And we'll go back into our march. Final one to finish. Finish off with our hips and raising those knees a little bit higher. We're going to go wide with our march. So this is our angry march. So we've got to start picking these knees a bit higher. As we take those knees out to the side, takes our gait wider and wider. Stay here for a second, and then we come back to narrow. Once again. And in. Final one. Nice and wide. We stay there. And back to narrow. Excellent. Relax. Have a drink. All of that was designed to elevate our heart rate a little bit, mobilize our joints. If anything felt extra tight, you wanted to pause, re-go through again, feel free to do so. Well, now we're going to go into the main. So this is where we're going to need our chair and our resistance band. The first exercise we're going to do is our big compound move, which is our sit to stand, okay? This is going to work on that power phase of us raising up out of a chair. So seated on our chair, we need to bring ourselves slightly towards the front of the chair. We want to have our feet shoulder width apart. Turn those toes out slightly because we want our knees to go outwards as opposed to collapsing inwards. They want to follow the line of our toes, okay? We have two options for these. We can either swing our arms up as we raise up nice and tall and then lower back down into our chair using the momentum of the arms to help us, or we can have our arms tight into our body, raising up and lowering down. The weight should feel like it's on our heels the whole time, okay? So there are two options, either swinging our arms for the momentum to help us or tight to our body. I'm going to go tight to our body, okay? So let's go for 5 of these. So pushing that weight through my heels, nice and tall, lowering back down slowly. Driving up through my heels, pause at the top for a second, and then back down. Always coming back into that seat. So I'm working on that power phase that's raising me up and back down. Final 2. Nice and controlled on the way down. And final 1. Excellent, and relax here. So again, take some time. That up and down can make you feel a little bit dizzy. Just use this moment to pause, reset before we go into the next one. Next one, to give our legs a little bit of a rest, we're going to go straight into some upper body. Again, this can be done seated or standing. So I'm going to do the example standing. You're going to need your resistance band. We're going to get that band underneath one foot, okay? Gripping the band, thumbs down. Get our shoulders nicely set. So if we raise them up, pull them back and let them float down, they're nicely set for this move. We're going to do some arm curls, okay? So our hinge is going to be our elbow. It stays fixed in place the whole time. One arm at a time. We're just going to raise that arm up, squeeze our bicep at the top, and then release slowly. Then change sides. Exactly the same on the other side. So I'll just show you from the side as well. So that hinge is my elbow. It's staying fixed in place the whole time as I'm raising and releasing. And again, we want to keep our shoulders nice and square. So if you've got use of a mirror or anything, you can use that to watch to make sure that you're not folding over on one side while you're squeezing this band up. Excellent. Let's go for one more on each side. Really good. And we'll take that band out. So we've done the front of our arm. The resistance was at the bottom. We're going to do the back of our arm now. Scrape that band over our left hand. Take that to our right shoulder. We're going to grip that band about 5 or 6 inches with our right hand and then extend down to our side and return slowly. So just from the side, I'm extending and then returning slowly. So that hinge is still our elbow, and all we've done is change where the point of that resistance is coming from. Last time it was at the bottom, this time it's at the top. Let's go for 2 more on this arm. Excellent. Same on the other side. So we drape the middle of that band between our fingers and our thumb, bringing our right hand to our left shoulder, grip it about 5 or 6 inches, extend down by our side and return. And obviously, with all of our exercises, make sure we keep breathing throughout. We don't want to hold our breath at any point during any of these exercises. And a good principle to think is if you breathe out on the effort. So the effort is when we extend, breathing out, taking that breath in as we raise up. If these feel too tough, give yourself a little bit more band. If you want to challenge yourself even more, just give yourself a little bit less. All right, final one for these. Excellent. Band down. Let's make sure we get it out of the way so we're not going to trip up on it at all. Clear space behind us. Back to our chair. So we've done our sit to stand, which is our power, raising us up. Now we want to concentrate on that strength phase, our lowering, okay? So the chair's here if we need it, but it's more of a psychological guide, okay? We set up as we would have, raised up out of our chair, shoulder width apart. Those toes are slightly turned out, so our knees are going to follow them when we go into that seated position, okay? Get our arms tight into our body. We're going to lower back down, so pushing our bum back, weight on our heels as if we're trying to sit down. And then we're going to raise back up nice and slowly. It doesn't matter how close we get to that chair. What matters is how slow and how controlled we go through it. So think of a count of 3 in your head. So try and go down for 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to come up for 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Let's keep these going. The focus on this is that nice controlled movement. The last time we were trying to get up out of the chair. This time we want to have that control so we can lower ourselves down safely. All right, let's go for 2 more of these. Excellent, and you can relax. Give those legs a little shake out. Again, we're going to rest these legs and go back to our upper body. So we did effectively a pull and a push with those last movements. We're going to do very similar movements again. A pull and a push, okay? Get in our band. We're going to do some rows. So these ones we can do standing or seated, as we did with those curls and tricep extensions that we did first time round. So the band, we can go underneath 2 feet or 1. So it's going to just change how long that band is and how much resistance it's got, okay? So same grip as we had for those curls, so our thumbs over, pointing down. I'm going to soften our knees slightly lean forward, like we're pushing our bum out a little bit, but leading with our chest. We're going to pull one band up into our hip and then lower down slowly. So we're driving that elbow back tight into our body. So if I show you from the side, soft knees, bums back slightly, nice straight back, chest forward, pulling that up into my hip and lowering down slowly. So think of it as like a soaring action. We're pulling that up and then releasing. So this is our pull. So make sure we alternate arms. And again, if you want to make it more challenging, give yourself a little bit less band. Or what you could do is just do one side at a time. So maybe you go for 6 on one side and then change. It's really going to work one arm a lot more because it's not going to get that break in between like it did. Excellent. We'll go for 1 more on each side. Brilliant. Band down. We don't need our band for our next one. But what we do need is a wall space. So we need a nice clear wall. We're going to have our hands up, shoulder height, shoulder width apart, okay? We're going to face the wall. So maybe about a foot away. So think about if you reached out your arms now, that's how far we're going to be away from our wall to start with, okay? Feet hip width apart, engage our core. So we need to suck our belly button, like clench up so it tilts our pelvis and our core is nice and strong. So when we lower, it's only going to be our arms moving. We're not going to be swinging our hips in, okay? So our hands are set on the wall, shoulder height, shoulder width. We're going to lower ourselves with our arms to about 1 inch away and then press. Nice controlled movements, both directions. And we breathe out on the effort. Taking that breath in as we slowly release. So ideally, if we can aim to hit about 6 to 8 of these, that'd be brilliant. And if these feel too tough, you can take a step closer to reduce the angle. Or if they felt too easy and you want to progress it, just go a little bit further back. And make sure, obviously, your footwear is not slipping and sliding if it feels like it is, or uneven, or there's any rug or anything. Make sure that's removed before starting these. We need a good solid base to work from. So I'll make this my last one. Excellent. And relax. And give those wrists a little bit of a roll. Not very comfortable being in that press position for so long. Excellent. And relax. So we're going to go back round to our legs now, okay? This time, we're going to start to add in some work. It's going to load some our lower legs especially and really work on our balance, okay? So we're going to need our anchor point for this one. So we can use the back of a chair, a work counter or a table, something that's at a comfortable height for us to reach where we're not going to try and lean to reach it, okay? So we're stood behind our chair, for example. We want to have our feet hip width apart. We're going to raise up onto our toes and then lower down slowly. So we want to have control as we lower down. So we come up nice and quickly, smooth, and lower down for 1, 2, 3, 4. Just fingertip tight. We don't want to be pressing off that to help us up or really supporting us too much on the way down. It's just there to help us balance. So we're nice and tall, that weight centered up on our toes as we lower down. Let's go for 2 more of these. If you aim for about between 5 and 8, that'd be great. and you can progress or repeat as you feel. These are great ones to do little and often. So if you've got any point of the day when you're waiting for something, say the kettle to boil, it's a great one to do in that time period. Excellent. So that's my last one. Kick my legs out now. Shake them out a little bit. You might feel it a little bit in these calves, okay? We're going to build on this one. So to start with, we need to come to the side of an anchor point. So again, table, chair, something that's a comfortable height for us to hold on to if we need it. We're going to be nice and tall. So let's lift those shoulders up towards our ears, roll them back, float them down. We're going to raise up. So my right hand's on my anchor point, my right leg's my standing leg. I'm going to raise my left leg, left arm, nice and tall. Pause here for a second, and then lower down slowly. And again, raising up, we're pausing, looking out on an imaginary horizon, so we're not looking where our legs and arms are going, and down slowly. Final one, we're going to aim for 3 of these. And down slowly. Excellent. Staying on this leg, because I know we'll be feeling it. We're going to raise our leg that we've just raised up and down, out to the side now. So some lateral raises. Make sure we lead with our heel. So if we turn our toes in slightly, pushing our heel out, we're just going to pause without leaning over to the side, and then lower back into center. So this is going to work these muscles on the outside of our hip. This is where we should feel it. Out to the side. Pause and back in. Final one. Pause and back in. Excellent. Change sides. Give that leg a little pedal. Nice and tall. Our other hand's on our anchor point this time. So for me, it's my left hand. My left leg's going to be my standing leg. Nice and tall. Raise those shoulders. Rotate them back and then float them down. So we're nice and tall. We're going to raise that. I'm raising my right leg, right arm. Pausing at the top, looking out straight ahead, and then lowering down slowly. Fingertip tight on that anchor point the whole time, and really trying to work on my balance. Raising up, pausing at the top, and then lowering down slowly. Final one. We pause and down slowly. Excellent. Now we're going out to the side again. Remember, turn those toes in, leading with our heel, so it works these muscles on the outside of our hip. We're nice and tall. Move that hip out, move that foot out to the side. We pause. Return to center slowly. And again, we pause without leaning, and back to center. Final one. Out to the side, we pause, and back to center. Excellent. Pedal those legs off. Back round to that first side again. So that first leg for me is my right leg, my anchor point's still here. Let's soften that right knee a little bit. So it's not quite fully extended, fully flexed, a little bit soft, okay? We're going to tap out with our left leg to the front, back to center. To the side, the center, the back, the center. The whole time our legs moving, we don't want to be leaning with it. So if anyone could only see our top half, they wouldn't be able to tell that our bottom half's moving. So just work on that proprioception of where that little tap's going. That weight's all on that standing leg the whole time. So try and think of it as like you're going around a clock face, or half of it. And do that 3 times. This is going to be my last one. Excellent. Pedal that off. Back onto that leg. Soften that knee again. This time we're going to go in reverse. So we're going to push our heel back, lift that leg out to the side, keeping those toes turned in, raising the foot to the front, and returning to center. So pushing that heel back, out to the side, around to the front, and center. Final one. And center. Excellent. Pedal that off. Last side to do. Remember, soften that knee. We're nice and tall still. The front, center, side, center, back, center. Keeping these going around that imaginary clock face, or half of it at least. 3 times. This is going to be my last one. Go your own pace with these. Excellent. Pedal that leg off. Soften that knee again. Remember, we're pushing back with that heel. Lifting that leg out to the side, keeping those toes turned in, raising round to the front and back to center the whole time. Top half staying nice and still. We're not leaning at all. All that weight's on that standing leg. Final one, we'll do 3 of these. Excellent. And relax. Pedal that leg off. I think now we need to hit some stretches. Definitely to stretch off these lower legs especially. So we can use a chair, a counter or a wall for these. So if we've got a back of a chair, we're stood up nice and close to it. We take a big step back, bend in our front leg, back leg straight, keeping that heel on the ground. As soon as that heel wants to lift off the ground, that's our biting point. That's where we need to be, okay? So if we're using a wall, we imagine it as if we're holding up the wall basically. That's where we should feel the stretch in our calf. And to change, we just step up, then step back with the other leg. Keeping that heel on the ground. You know where you need to be. As soon as the heel wants to lift, that's the point where we need to be at. Excellent. Step up out of that. Give those legs a little shake. Now we can come into our chair. So we're going to have a seat now. Nice and tall in our chair. If we kick out our right leg in front, relax those toes so they're out in front, pointed away from our body. We're nice and tall. Take both hands on top of our right leg. Big breath in and then breathe out as we hinge forward, leading with our chest, letting those hands slide. As soon as we feel any resistance, we stop and then return back up, taking a breath in. So go your own pace with your breathing for these. So big breath in, breathe out. As we hinge forward, letting those hands slide and in on the way up. We're now going to change our foot position. We're going to dig that heel so our toes are pointing straight up. Same movement though. You'll feel that stretch move slightly lower down your leg. Nice and tall. Big breath in, breathe out as you let those hands slide, leading with your chest. In on the way up. And once again. And in on the way up. Excellent. Bring that leg in, little tap out. We're changing legs. Left leg out in front, relax those toes so they're pointing away from us. Right leg's got a bit of a bend in it to stop us potentially sliding off our chair, okay? Hands on top of our thigh. We're nice and tall. Big breath in, breathe out as we hinge and lean forwards, letting those hands slide. Breath in on the way up. Once more. So breathing out into our stretch, letting those hands slide. One side might be tighter than the other, so don't worry about it. Just go with which side and how your body feels. Changing that foot position. Dig that heel. Stretch is going to move deeper down our leg, remember. Nice and tall again. Breathing out into our stretch. In on the way up. Final one of these. So aim to do about 2 to 3 of these. If you're particularly tight one day, just repeat this section and do a few more. Bring that leg in, little tap out. So that's our legs. We're going to start moving up our body now, okay? So we're sat in our chair nice and comfortably, got a nice 90-degree bend in our legs. Just take our right hand to our left knee. We're nice and tall. We're going to reach back and look over our left shoulder. Like someone's called our name, we're looking behind us in a chair. Pause here. And slowly return to center. So that twist is getting a bit of a stretch for us. So we're changing sides now. Left hand to right knee, reaching back nice and tall over our chair, looking over that shoulder. And keep breathing through these. Breathe with all of our stretches. Excellent. And return to center. Right, getting up towards our shoulders now. Let's raise those arms up to start with. We're going to hit our chest and our back. Palms facing. Take a big breath in as we open, squeezing those shoulder blades. And breathe out as we close. In as we open. Out as we close. Once again, in to open. Out to close. Wrap those arms around. Giving yourself a hug on this one. keep those shoulders nice and relaxed. We don't want them up tight into our ears. Just nice relaxed arms around our shoulders. If it feels good, you can do a few little rocks side to side, adding that twist to get a little bit of a deeper stretch. Open those arms out. Same again. Another hug this time, other arm on top. Wrap those arms. You can give yourself a little bit of a rock if it feels good. Remember, all of these stretches, anything feels tight, go again. Do a few more of them. If anyone's feel really good, keep doing them. And release those arms out. Back to center. Interlace those fingers. Relax shoulders. Imagine we've got our arms around a tree. We're going to push those hands away from our body as we do. We're going to tuck that chin. So it's like our shoulder blades are separating. We should feel a stretch in the middle upper part of our back. And slowly bring that head up, relaxing those shoulders. I'm going to turn those hands over now. Raise up above our head. If interlacing our fingers isn't comfortable, just overlap those hands. Take a big breath in and breathe out as we lean to one side. In as we come up. Out as we lean to the other side. In as we come up. One more on each side. So out as we lean into our stretch. In on the way up. Out into our stretch. In on the way up. Release those arms down by our sides. So arms hanging down by our sides. We're going to turn those thumbs out and away from the center line of our body. And then corkscrew them all the way around. And then repeat. So we're going as far as they'll go in both directions. That twist is getting a stretch all the way along our arms. For our forearms, to our upper arms, into our shoulders. And if we make sure we're nice and tall in our chair, we'll get a greater range of movement to get a better stretch. Excellent. Relax those. Give them a little shake out. To finish off, we're going to finish with some arm swings. So we're going to take a big breath in as we swing our arms up. And breathe out as we lower, palms forward, arms down by our side. Okay, so let's go for 3 of these now. So breathing in as we swing our arms up. Out as we slowly lower our arms, palms down by our sides. And if we pick our head up a bit more, we'll get more of a stretch for our chest. 2 more. In on the way up and out as we lower, nice and slowly. Last one. In on the way up, out, slowly lowering those arms down by our sides. Excellent. Really good, guys. And relax. Again, any of those sections, anything that felt good, you feel like you're a bit tight one day, maybe just focus on the warm-up, repeat. Anything feels too much, give yourself that time to break, pause it, then get that time to go again. Quality over quantity in all of this work that we've done. Same with our stretches. Don't be afraid to just use sections of this at different points. Little and often is going to be the real benefit.